Ventana Marine by Armaf. So picked this up from FragFlex along with like 8 other fragrances, all Middle Eastern in origin. This is obviously from the House of Armaf. This is theoretically supposed to be a twist on Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum. I'm not grading it on that ability to clone that fragrance or anything because I don't have it and I'm not going to assess it on that basis, but I just thought it'd be important for you guys to know. So let's go ahead and get this thing unboxed and talk about all the various wonderful notes involved. So first up, we got top notes of Sicilian orange, citron, Calabrian bergamot, petitgrain, and cardamom. Then we get middle notes of ginger, Tunisian neroli, rosemary, jasmine, cinnamon, lily of the valley. Lots of florals in here. Interesting kind of bottle, kind of cool. Nothing else like that in my collection. And then finally in the base notes we get Chinese tea, because we can't have any other kind of tea apparently. And then we got sandalwood, then this, I'm sorry, I'm gonna ruin this. Palisander, rosewood, and I'm gonna mispronounce, I always mispronounce this, guaiac wood. So there you go. If I mispronounce it, leave in the comments how I should pronounce it. I'm gonna go ahead and say it feels kind of cheap, but it looks pretty cool. So like it's a, like that's the reservoir. The blue part right here is the reservoir where all the liquid is, but it's like a plasticky kind of coating. Obviously, I don't think they would ever make some metal because the cost protection would be too high, but cool bottle overall. There you go. That's what it looks like with the lid off. Very sturdy. I worry about these narrow bottles sometimes, but yeah, there it is. And we're gonna go ahead and start spraying it. All right, so as always, the way we do this is we first test on paper. I give you my impressions of what those opening notes are like, and then I try it out on skin and see if there's any kind of differentiation. Sometimes like citrus notes tend to come out way sweeter, way stronger on skin for me, and that's probably just because of body temp. So let's go ahead and do some sprays. Get it up. Decent atomizer, puts out a nice wide spray. Let it flash, and let's go sniffing. Okay, first off, very, even though it's not listed, it's got a minty vibe to it. So that's probably the petitgrain, doing something with the cardamom in the opening. But definitely citrus overall, but like it's got this very minty aromatic notion to it, which might be the petitgrain. That might be what I was smelling. But yeah, it's very nice. A very standard blue scent. I was expecting something a little more aquatic or marine based on the namesake being Ventana Marine. But no, I'm not getting a marine vibe from this so far. So I'm not getting like a salty vibe from it, at least not on paper. But it's very nice. Again, citrus in the opening. It's kind of a bitter citrus. On paper, it's not super sweet. It could be any number of things making that mint kind of pop out, for me at least. It could be just the way the cardamom is presenting, but yeah. All right, so let's do it on the skin real fast. All right. Now again, we're not talking about longevity yet. Obviously, we're going to just mainly be talking about the opening presentation and how those notes present. All right, now this been on the skin for a second and flashed off. Let's go ahead and take a smell. Okay, so way more aromatic on the skin. In fact, the citrus really doesn't even play a starring role for me on skin. It's I'm getting the already the ginger's there. I'm getting a little bit of the rosemary very quickly. It's almost like it's bypassing the citrus notes, or they're just in the background somewhere. But yeah, it's excellent. It's a very nice, just blue, not quite like a blue shower gel kind of thing going on, but it's definitely more of a blue fragrance. I wouldn't say it's marine. I'd say it's maybe a little aquatic with those combos, but I would not say this is like a marine salty fragrance, which is ironic considering the name of the actual fragrance itself. But yeah, that's nice. Overall, that's a nice, clean, blue kind of fragrance with all the various herbal notes. The ginger, I think, pops. Honestly, the ginger really pops more than the citrus in my opinion. So that citrus really is mostly on paper that I notice it. But yeah, it's there, but it's just not nearly as strong as I was expecting based on just the amount of citrus listed in the notes. I'd say it's more of a aromatic, clean blue fragrance for the most part in the opening. So we're gonna let this dry down and do some other stuff with it and try it on for a few days, see what that longevity and projection looks like, and we'll jump back in later. All right, doing a very fast little jump in before I talk about the final dry down and whatnot. After sitting for about 15-20 minutes, I did a quick smell test again, and the citrus starts coming out a little stronger. It's a more sweet citrus on skin, so I was kind of surprised by that. I figured it'd be kind of bitter, but it's a little more sweet, and it's understated. It's not like a blast of citrus in the face. It's kind of on the photorealistic side, so it's not very synthetic in the citrus notions. But once that petitgrain and the cardamom kind of wears down, you're left with a lot of the citrus. Haven't talked about the middle notes or the dry down final notes yet. Those haven't really presented because it's only been about 20-25 minutes. But yeah, once that petitgrain note kind of falls away, it's a lot more citrusy, so you will smell that more quickly, but it'll be like 15 minutes or so later, so it's not like a blast of citrus when you first spray. So that was just a quick update. All right, so Armaf Ventana Marine. How did the dry down turn out? What's the longevity like? Let's go ahead and jump into that. So as far as the notes and how they break down, this thing becomes more of a marine fragrance, although that note is not listed like marine notes on the various platforms that kind of discuss it. It becomes more marine as those aromatic herbs come out. So there's a combination of ginger, and especially the addition of that rosemary. Rosemary, if you ever it doesn't matter if it's like Acqua di Gio Profondo, it doesn't matter if it's like there's various marine centric fragrances out there. Rosemary is always accompanying like the notes of salt or sea salt or marine notes, because rosemary for whatever reason evokes and really kind of makes your nose think of salty flavors and salty smells. So that's why the rosemary's in there, and that's what kind of gives it its marine kind of vibe. You get a little bit of cinnamon. It's tiny. Like if you really have to think about it, if someone were to smell this on you when those middle notes are really pronounced, they're not going to go like, ooh, baked cookies, gingerbread. They're not. It's not happening. Like the cinnamon is just kind of there to break it up a little bit, so it's not just like a big aromatic bomb. There's a little bit of those florals that smooth it out a little bit, make it a little, maybe even a little powdery. Not quite powdery, but a little tiny bit in there, but nothing crazy. And the base notes are pretty inoffensive. The tea and sandalwood kind of mesh together to make just a general like crisp kind of dry down. But by that point, it is just a skin scent. Like you're not projecting the note of Chinese tea and sandalwood or guaiac wood or all that stuff. So you're not projecting those out there. They're just there, and it's a skin scent at that point. Now, as far as longevity and projection, first projection, it's moderate to far for about the first 2 hours. I would classify this into something in between an everyday and a gym scent. So it lasts longer than like your standard like 4-hour gym scent that's gonna like make you smell nice and project for about 2 hours, but after that it kind of slows down and then it's gone before 6 hours even hits. This goes a little bit longer. I'd say it goes about to 6 hours on skin and projection for about 3. And those opening notes, those citrus notes are the first ones to go. You really project more of those aromatic herbs after a while. So this is a very safe blind buy in that regard. It's a Bleu de Chanel twist inspo, whatever you want to call it. It's not a clone. It's not trying to be a one-to-one of that. It's just that's the DNA overall. So don't expect a $23 bottle to be the same as a $200 bottle from Chanel. It's not the same thing. But it is very well blended, and this is, again, Armaf is notorious in my opinion, among Middle Eastern fragrances for needing some time to age. So I'm probably gonna do a follow-up review of this, but I think this one actually was bottled a while ago, so I think I'm pretty much getting what I'm gonna get out of it. But it is very, very pleasant overall. There's no real complaints I have, especially for like $23, $25, very inexpensive for a 100 ml bottle of Eau de Parfum concentration, and it is done well. It does the job and it does it well. So that's my review, guys, overall. Again, good projection for about 3 hours, but you can get 6, maybe longer if you do like a whole regimen routine of overspray plus doing like moisturizing on the arm plus putting on clothes because the clothing will last longer. But yeah, it's a very easy, safe blind buy and great option for pretty much any situation, and it's good probably any time of year. This is a very easy, well-rounded, don't know what to wear, grab this, and no one's going to complain, including you. So thanks for watching, guys.